What type of relationship should an agent have with a condo association?
Well, it's a good question. The perspective on the transaction is that as the realtor, you want to gather information and you want to be able to make sure that you have reliable information that you can share with the public. Obviously, your first source of contact would be your client, who's been a resident, most of the time resident or an investor in a certain condo project, and they should have reliable information. You may want to back that up with an individual phone call to the management company, if there is in fact a management company. If it's self-managed, then it's appropriate to contact the president or the appropriate individual within the board of the association to make sure you can get answers to your questions. Important along the way to know what questions you should be asking. And ultimately, the 7.0 contract that we frequently use will have a provision in the contract which will, if individuals take the time to read it, it's fairly lengthy. It gives information on the Illinois Act and the things that a buyer is entitled to do as part of their due diligence in purchasing a condo. And among the many things that are there, there'll be references in the contract to the declaration of condominium, the bylaws, which are the everyday living accomplishments or everyday living necessities for individuals that are actually in the association. They'll also include items such as budgets, possibly tax returns, minutes for the last few years of meetings. These are all items that may be requested by a savvy buyer, a prudent buyer, in trying to make a decision whether or not they want to move forward with their purchase of the condominium. So your relationship is really to be a facilitator on it. You are not in the role of an attorney, so you're not necessarily interpreting those documents, but you're gathering information. And typical questions that might be asked in a condo environment is the question of whether individuals need to be owner-occupants or whether investors are permitted. Another good question is whether there's any caps that are involved in the association. If it permits rentals, is there a limitation on those? Pets is always a popular one. How many pets, certain types of pets, size of pets, pound limitations, items such as that. So these are all different items that you can gather along the way. From the financial perspective, lenders may require some financial information about the association. So it's always good to know if they have reserves, adequate reserves, hopefully, and even to know the amount of those reserves. Those are good items for you to pick up really at the listing stage. And if you do your homework up front, it's going to save you time, and then potentially you'll have the answers when a buyer's agent asks those questions along the way.